that I'm running, and this is a compulsory undergrad module for the Faculty Engineering, Built Environment and Information Technology at the University of Pretoria. So this entails that all the students must work at least 40 hours in the community, and thereafter they must reflect via lectures and assignments on what they learned in the other 40 hours. What is the main goals of the module is that they must develop life skills, they must be of a service, and they must understand the social issues. Now you can see it's really a huge number of students that enrolled in this module on a yearly basis. We've got the School for Information Technology, the School for Engineering, the School for Built Environment, and this year we had a huge number of 1,808 students enrolled in the module. The students work in different communities, and we usually have about 400 campus community partners, and this year there was 551 projects registered. At this stage, all the projects are not done yet. The popular projects that the students are doing is renovation projects, and then they like to do maths and science projects, and then zoo and animal related projects. Now our three guests of this afternoon, 2 community partners and a student. Two of them are very into renovation type of projects, and the students help a lot with math and science projects. Now, how do we see sustainability in campus community partners? For me, it's the most important to have a very good understanding with a community partner. Otherwise, there won't be sustainability. At least we are very well with funding at this stage. It's not such a big issue with the module. The students are also very creative. And then very important that I've got good student leadership helping me. You can see I indicated that there must be a relationship between the higher education institute, the community and the students to make sure this sustainable projects take place. Now this afternoon we will concentrate only on the 3 elements, the faculty, that's myself, and then the 2 campus community partners as well as the student involvement to make the sustainability happen. To have a faculty willing to be part of sustainable projects, it's important that there must be research for them, there must be teaching, and the service must address the needs of the community. I indicated this ladder for faculty involvement in communities to indicate how the steps are, and for me again it's very important to indicate that there must be a secure community support to ensure the successful sustainability of projects. For communities willing to sustain, they must be willing to do this, and then there must be a trust, and it's also important to have staff allocated to help in this program. Community engagement projects community partners feel it's worthwhile to sustain it when they feel there are meaningful opportunities and it's a worthwhile thing for them to do. For students to sustain projects, you will talk to Manchala this afternoon. Strong leadership is a strong leader, and that's why the community projects are running so very well with him, and the positive interaction and the positive learning experience for students. Student involvement, they must feel that they're doing something sensible, that it's appropriate to their learning, and then they must also be adaptable. Now, I've got 2 community partners this afternoon, so first of all, I will introduce you to one, and she will explain to you what we are doing. And this is Beste Birds and Animal Zoo Park. It's a zoo near Pretoria, and Robynn is running the projects there. I've been working with her before she was at the National Zoo or the National Zoological Gardens in Pretoria. So we've got a partnership from 2006. And on a yearly basis, nearly 45 groups are working with her in the zoo with various projects. So I'm handing over to Robynn.
Good afternoon, everybody. First off, I'd like to say this is an absolute honor to be able to be sitting here at the University of Pretoria in the company of amazing people, and to be able to do this webinar with you internationally, and to be able to express a great appreciation to Martina Jordaan for all the work that she has done for the communities of South Africa, for the organizations and the people that she has touched. And before I burst into tears, I just want to salute her. So thank you, Martina, for all the love that you've given over to her. So without further ado, I'd like to continue. Working in a zoo is certainly an experience, and working with animals, public, people, students, and the like, equally important. And I would like to express that part of the JCP projects is getting the students involved hands-on. Martina has participated in getting the students onto the property where the animals are offered opportunities, such as the jaguar that you see in the photo before you. The students have to build things for the animals, so it helps increase their welfare. It helps the visitor experience better understand the conservation messaging. The students learn through problem solving. By coming to the zoo, they realize that weaving a hammock for a jaguar is not that easy. It takes thinking, it takes planning, it takes the opportunity to find the material, look at the problems that it might foresee with the exhibit and the animals, and then applying it and seeing the students' reactions when they see the jaguar climb into their hammock is just such a pleasure. And Martina and I have sat for many, many moments saying what pleasure it is. Being able to create an opportunity that is sustainable for a zoo, for the visitors, for the animals, and for the University of Pretoria has been such a rewarding experience. It is important to start off with making sure that the students have a footing. Martina, like expressed, we have a list of projects that the students get at the beginning of the year. The students have the opportunity to choose a project, such as the students hanging off a rather rickety platform that you see in the exhibit there, which is also for the jaguars. It's designed so that the animal has to interact. The students come to the zoo, they identify the project, and they move through the process. And it's important for the community engagement partner to value the student. So look at safety, look at the tools, the equipment, how they interact with the environment is very, very important. And being able to manage over 40 groups is actually quite pleasurable if you actually have a sustainable way where the students need to understand that they have to make an appointment, that they need to come and do a site visit, that they need to think about how they take photos, when they take photos, what's in the background of the photo, because at the end of the experience they have to make a YouTube video clip, which is part of the experience of the students to be able to better judge how they're going to interact with their community. And it all boils down to learning. This, for example, is a photo of a southern ground hornbill. The students had to develop a system where the children could actually engage with this very, very special bird without actually engaging with this very special bird. So here's a child learning how big is the wings of the southern ground hornbill, and at the same time the animals are the ambassadors for the species. So within a zoological settings you can certainly use students and the community, working with universities, working with student bodies, working with people that are learning is just such a privilege. I don't know if I've done justice to you, Martina Jordaan, sitting here and doing this webinar. I'm absolutely overwhelmed with the amount of work that she manages to achieve. And it's an honor to be able to have her students come to the zoo and work with me, work with the staff, work with the animals, and work with the environment. The students help with welfare, they're hands-on projects, and they also engage with helping teach about conservation. I know I have a very short period of time, and I don't know if I've run over it. I just wish to express that community engagement is a critical cog in any facility. And if companies and schools and education bodies can understand the value, you guys can certainly take it further and forward. It's always a rewarding experience. And I'd like to say thank you very much for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Robynn. So the next guest we've got is Zanele. Unfortunately, Brenda couldn't make it this afternoon. So Zanele is from Stanza Bopape Community Centre. The grant that we received from that we had this year, we used specifically from the Stanza Bopape Community Health Centre, and we did various projects there. So I'm introducing you to Zanele.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you to Dr. Martina and the University of Pretoria for the opportunity that they've given us this afternoon. I'm going to just briefly talk about the project that they've assisted us with at Stanza. It's basically a development center in the township, so most of the people who come there on a daily basis are either looking for job opportunities, and it's mostly people who also are underprivileged and basically struggle, say for instance, to make ends meet on a day-to-day basis. So what is most interesting is that a lot of young people who come to our center, you'll find that they studied at local schools where they don't get computer training. So you'll find that they cannot use the computer, say for example, things that we take for granted, like basically using Excel and Word. So what the University of Pretoria has done is that they basically train the young people up, and you also get older people who come and learn how to use the computer. And then one of the other projects that they are assisting us with is an irrigation system in the urban farming project. So what is really incredible is that when they got there, we were sort of like, I don't know if I can use the word revamping, but we were revamping the urban farming section at Stanza, and there were so many boulders and rocks that we were trying to get rid of. We got TLB after TLB, that got broken up because, it just wasn't working out. The rocks were too big and it was just a struggle, and we didn't know how we were going to make the project work, So the University of Pretoria came with incredible engineering students, and the next thing that we knew, the boulders had been removed, and, if you can see how it looks now, it is so incredible. We have planted spinach, and I think that is, and cabbage. Yeah, so those are the veggies that I can think of now. But people who are involved in that project can now take the vegetables and sell them to the local community. So what is incredible about that is that they're able to get money from that, and it's good in a sense that it's something that you can refer to as sustainable livelihood, because once the veggies grow, obviously they can be taken and sold, and then the process goes on and on in that way. So I can say it's quite good for Mamelodi and for people who are making a living out of the urban farming project. And then we also have the brick making project. It was there, but it was basically not working out, because I think the material that we were using, we were really not knowledgeable on how we could make the project work. So Dr. Martina came and introduced students who were knowledgeable about brick making, and I think there was, the students came for a week and they trained, our beneficiaries on how to make bricks, like proper bricks that they can sell to the community. So people are now buying those bricks. It's bricks that you can use to maybe, build a house or build whatever. So, what is incredible about that is that, the bricks are actually durable. And it's really quite incredible. And I really would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Martina and her students for the incredible work that they have done at Stanza. We really appreciate it. They have really changed the lives of so many people in Mamelodi, and thank you so much.
Okay, on this photograph you will see on the left-hand side is the students busy with the irrigation system, and then the middle was the brick-making project, and on the right hand is the computer training, where we at this stage trained about 350 community members. Of course, it's very important to remember that without the community accommodating us, we won't be able to do these projects. And Stanza is very open to any new ideas that we come with, and they take us and is willing to try new endeavors that the students are doing. So that helps also a lot. My last guest will be Manchala Sithole. He has been a JCP student 2 years ago. Thereafter, he became a mentor for the module. Now, what I do is I use old JCP students to work with the new students, thereby ensuring there's some sustainability in the sense that the old students will tell the new students what to do, make sure that the project is done properly and that all the assignments are done properly. And then Manchala this year became responsible in one of our societies, the EBIT House, for the social responsibility work to do in that society. And a few weeks ago, he was then awarded for the best student with regard to community outreach in a society. And next year, he will continue with this. Now, what is also challenging with him, he worked with a huge number of JCP students. During April recess, he worked with 55 students, and then July again with a huge number of students. So he's managing it, and that is where it's a wonderful thing to have the sustainability with the student leadership. So I'm handing over to Manchala.
Good day, everyone. Well, as Dr. Martina stated, my name is Manchala Sithole. I'm the current Vice Chairperson for the EBIT Faculty House. I'm the chairman and founder for one of the organizations called Keep That Goal Shining.
Somebody's mic is on. Okay.
Yes, and I joined. I started JCP in my second year, which was introduced as a module, and now I'm currently a mentor for the JCP project. In my second year as a student.
Somebody's mic is on. Will you be so kind to switch it off? Thank you.
In my second year, I got an opportunity to Okay, in my second year, I was introduced to JCP as a module, and as a student, Elvis, can you please switch off the mic, please?
The microphone? What's wrong? They say they cannot hear you.
Oh.
What's wrong?
Actually, sound.
But
Okay.
there's a sound.
Okay, if we talk, I could Manchala talk.
Okay, talk.
Okay. I was introduced to JCP in my second year as a module, and in my second year, during one of my projects, one of the students said, in order to make the country a better place, we must manage to give the students an opportunity to lead each other in order to lead together. And this student was Manchala, which is the student who's actually presenting this talk today. So basically, my task today is simply to discuss the importance of mentorship. So as university mentors in JCP, we basically introduce the determination and the perseverance in students in order for them to actually carry on with the project even after they are done with their project, the JCP project. So basically, I came up with the student development cycle and exposure, which actually worked tremendously for me. So going back to my second year, I was introduced to the JCP module, where my project became one of the best community outreach projects again, where I was awarded by Dr. Martina Jordaan in my second year, where we taught math and science in one of the township areas in Soshanguve. And that managed to spark something in me, because at the end I managed to start my own, my very own organization called Keep That Goal Shining, which is aimed at unleashing the potential of high school students, because I believe that most of them are not aware that they are capable of like doing well in their studies until someone comes to them and talks to them. And in my late second year, I managed to join the faculty house, the IBET faculty house, where I was the community outreach manager for the first time. And all these three organizations, instead of just making me a mentor, I ended up being like the community outreach manager, which is one of the things which actually worked to my advantage, because I got an opportunity to become a community outreach manager instead of just being a mentor. Well, as I mentioned that I was part of the IBET faculty house. The IBET faculty house is a student structure which is governed by the students, aimed at forming a direct and easy link between the faculty and the students. But we don't just focus like on internal things which are actually happening on campus, like students and the faculty. The faculty house also serves as a structure which connects students to various communities through community engagements, meaning that even after the students are done with their JCP project in their second year, we continue like coming up with different community outreach projects in order to expose these students to like real communities out there. Well, I actually realized that there are different types of services when it comes to community outreach. And this is what we actually implemented as the IBET faculty house. We offer direct services, which is basically sending the students to the communities to do hand-based projects like gardening. We have educational-based services where we go to like different high schools where we just motivate the students. We offer them tutoring and math competition, which will be discussed later. We also have donation-based services, which is basically asking for different students to donate different materials like clothing drive from different residences in order to donate those clothes to different orphanage homes located around our area in Pretoria. And lastly, we have awareness services, which is basically bringing awareness to the community, things like xenophobia, like HIV and AIDS, like the cancer, like those are the things which are actually affecting the community. Without us getting to donate something, we saw it better for us to go there and bring awareness to the community and advise them about such things happening. And that we also like participate in things like the cancer relay and like other things. So the projects which we had with JCP this year included like the maths competition, where we actually started with 3 schools and managed to like increase most of the marks of like the students who participated in this project, in which we got one of the students who started with a 33% in one of the tests and got 99% in her final test. So this proves that our project and plan was on point, and most of the schools are willing to join into this project. And with this project, we'd like to thank Dr. Martina for trusting us for the first time as an organization to run such a big project. We also facilitated maths and science tutoring in the community of Mamelodi, where we sent various students on every Saturday to go there and tutor students and give them guidance on how to master maths and science. And on the very last picture, you can see it's me motivating students. We managed to work with the Department of Education for the first time to visit their campsites to motivate students before their matric exams. But as IBET faculty house, we didn't just end there in the educational project. We are aware that there are different problems which are being faced in our community. For example, we also have projects like sanitary pet drive, where we donate pets to different communities for ladies who are actually facing this problem of sanitary pads. We also had Career Expo, where we worked with the Abasa UP to help students like manage to like actually find out what they want to study at the university. As I said, we also had clothing drive, the wheelchair drive, where we managed to donate 3 wheelchairs to one of the disability centers around in Soshanguve. We also did some gardening, and we also visited some of the few orphanage homes around Pretoria. But you might think that all these things took 5 years to be like accomplished. So believe you me, it was only accomplished in 2016. But the important thing is sustainability. We can do all these projects, touch people's lives, but if we're not sustainable, like we better just focus on our lives and move on. So basically, I did a mini checklist of how to see whether like we can collaborate with different organizations in a sustainable way. And the checklist includes different like experts, which I actually wrote down. The first one is the fact that in order for us to collaborate with different organizations, we must make sure that we have a shared and defined purpose with those organizations, because it's pointless to just collaborate with someone who's not going in the same direction as you. The second one is willingness to collaborate. We always make sure that we collaborate with people who are willing to collaborate with us. We don't force people to do what they don't want to. And the third one is commitment to contribute. At the end of the day, it's not all about collaboration. The importance is not collaboration, but it's also contribution. How someone is willing to contribute, how someone is willing to put their hearts in a certain project, because that's what makes a successful project at the end of the day. And another thing is being dependent and reliable to each other. So we always make sure that the relationship we form with these organizations are dependent and reliable, so that they can work with us in the near future. And lastly, we always make sure that we collaborate with organizations which are willing to move forward with the project, even when we are not on campus, because at the end of the day, we are students and we're going to leave campus. So we collaborate with organizations which can take our projects further, even after our postgraduate studies. So I have different strategies in order to see how a project is sustainable. And here are some key points. The first important point is consultation. In one of my projects this year, I actually went to this disability center with the aim of painting their walls. But one of the community members actually indicated to me that sometimes it's pointless for us in this current age to try and teach Lionel Messi how to play football. With my understanding, he tried to show me that it's pointless to try and give people what they don't need. At the end of the day, the disability center didn't need painting, they needed wheelchairs. And at the end of the day, we managed to donate 3 wheelchairs, even though it wasn't enough, but we're still planning to do more in the next coming years. The second thing, as I said, is collaboration. Collaboration is key, but we don't just collaborate with people around campus, we also collaborate with organizations around the communities, since they are the ones who are actually exposed with all these problems which the community is facing. And we always make sure that we nurture their vision. All those organizations in the communities, our aim is to just nurture their vision and make sure that all their dreams come true. We always make sure that we appreciate each and every individual we actually work with, we actually collaborate with, which is one of the important aspects in collaboration. We respect all the people who actually donate some things, so that we can just show them how we're actually utilizing their resources. Because, you know, all the people want to see where their money goes. So basically, we just respect the people by just utilizing their resources in the right manner. And lastly, communication and follow-up. After completing a project in a certain community, We don't just sit and say we are done with the project, but we do some follow-ups. We communicate with the community leaders to see the progress in the projects which we initiated in those communities. And all of this brings empowerment to the community, because if we empower the community, at the end of the day, we don't have to help the community. I have what I call the backbone of community engagement in the universities. And to start with, I want to start with the students. The importance of bringing the students to community outreach is basically a very good idea, because working with Dr. Martina, I got to understand that her alone doesn't know of all the problems which all the communities are facing. The students, for example, like me, I come from like a very disadvantaged community where I'm exposed to different problems, like people, like many people who are actually facing poverty, a lot of people who don't like have wheelchairs, like disability centers, the schools which I come from. If it wasn't for a student like me, I don't think some of the projects were going to be like unleashed. So basically, the students are there to help the lecturers to actually identify relevant projects to deal with. And lastly is the strength of the community. We always make sure that we use the strength of the community in order to help the community. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't help for us to go to the community, talk and try to help and leave without the community finding its foundation. So if the community has a foundation, if this community is strong in their foundation, we always make sure that we help them through their strength. And lastly, we also had some external collaboration and some of the organizations which are helping us on campus. And to start with, Keep That Goal Shining, which is one of my organizations, which actually focus on university students who actually volunteer to help us. We have JCP students joining the organization after their JCP project, because at the end of the day, there's no use in introducing this community outreach concept in the students and then just leave it in their third year. So we always make sure that they continue with this project even after their second year. We are actually planning to form a society on campus, and we also work with IBIT students. We worked with Abasa UP, which actually sent most of our students to different provinces in South Africa, like sending the students to Mpumalanga, Limpopo to do some career expos. And we also had JCP students tutoring and helping them with their projects. And we also have EWB, which is one of the societies on campus with a lot of mentors. They focus mostly on hand-based projects, tutoring projects, and most importantly, the sustainable energy projects, which are actually aimed at the community. And to wrap up, I'd like to leave you with these words. The best contribution is that one wonderful question from an awesome audience, answered by that kind presenter. Thank you.